Welcome back to Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. I'm Kristie.
And I'm Josh, and today's episode is all about crime.
Let's jump into the first story.
I changed a road sign to make my commute easier 13 years ago.
That's like super illegal. But also, if nobody's noticed in 13 years, I don't know. It sounds like you didn't really need that road sign anyways.
It sounds like OP is just a criminal genius and got away with it. On my daily commute, there was a very inconvenient no right turn between 7 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. sign. I had to make the right turn at about 7:20 a.m. each day. For a long time, I would just break the law and make my turn anyway, or go around if I thought there was too many people watching. But, maybe out of boredom, I did a bit of research and found the ticket for the illegal turn was more than buying a sign from the supplier that makes signs for our area, and several other locations. So I ordered a new sign that was no right turn between 7:30 a.m. and 9:30 a.m.
Wow, he went all out buying a sign. I was expecting him to just go up with like a Sharpie and, change one of the numbers.
You thought he just graffitied on it?
Yeah, but no, he legit invested some money in this to save himself the inconvenience.
I figured it was a good investment. I went to the trouble of buying it through an alias and having it sent to a location that was not at all near to where I was.
Okay, seems smart. How did he pay for it? With his credit card? That seems less smart. But how do you pay for things you order online?
Maybe you can get a Visa gift card?
Oh, maybe. But then they just look up the Visa gift card and are like, how did you buy this Visa gift card? With your credit card?
Cash.
Oh, okay, you can buy those with cash in the store, right?
Yeah, you can buy things with cash.
No, cash does not exist anymore. Only credit cards.
Real cloak and dagger stuff, but it was part of the fun. Then, in the middle of the night, I went and removed 2 bolts and put up the new sign. At first, I was expecting for it to be removed or someone look into it, but it is more than a decade later and no one has noticed or changed it. By the way, yes, I did think of just taking it down, but I figured that would be noticed by someone, and to be honest, the whole scheme of getting a new one was part of the fun.
Yeah, I do think if you had taken it down, they would have just replaced it. But since you just did a sneaky little swap out and changed the time by half an hour, yeah, nobody's really going to notice that. Although my one concern is that usually when it's between these times, no right turns, it's usually because it's a school area. So my concern is that you are not being safe around the children and nobody else is being safe around the children either during the times that they need to be safe around the children.
Yeah, that is the only concern I had as well, because totally embrace anarchy. Well, not quite anarchy because he did still leave a rule up, but a better rule.
Better for him.
But it's not super cool to do that in a busy zone where school children are walking. Although it is at the front of the walking period. Maybe they haven't left yet.
Yeah, but if a child ever got hit by a car between 7 and 7:30, how bad would you feel?
Pretty bad, I imagine.
But I do totally get where he's coming from because I got a no turn on red sign put up on my way to work where there was not one before. And now I'm like, well, that's ruined everything. And I just take a different route now.
Yeah, they can be awfully inconvenient. And there's no proof that it's a school zone. Maybe it's a rush hour thing.
Yeah. Now, if it was not a school zone and it was a rush hour thing, I would feel less bad about this.
Top comment. I work in construction and order signs for stuff all the time. So far, just what I've been told to get. But I've had many small community people whinge about stuff like people speeding through areas with lots of kids, and I tell them to just order their own signs and put them up. The worst thing that'll happen is they'll have to take them down if someone notices. Most people just assume the signs are legit.
Ooh, but I feel like ordering a new sign and putting one up is a lot harder because you got to get a pole and install it. That's a lot harder than just changing the sign on an already existing pole.
I mean, if there's a speed limit sign nearby, maybe you can just add it below.
Yeah, that you could maybe double sign a pole and just ride off another pole that's already up there.
Because when we were in college, there was never anywhere to park. So you kind of learned where the best lots were. Mm-hmm. And you also learned that if you got a ticket, you can drive back to that spot where the sign is and check the back for a sticker to see if that sign was legitimate and enforceable.
Ooh, I did not know that.
Yeah, our one friend beat a few tickets because the sign didn't have that sticker on the back saying it was official. I don't know if that's true everywhere.
But it's true at our college campus.
Right. OP replied to that guy's comment. I believe that. The sign company did not even blink when I did it. I thought they might ask questions, but it was no big deal. Sounded like people order one-off signs all the time. Which makes sense, because if you live on a private road or something, you can put up whatever sign you want.
I guess that's true, because I was thinking they should just check and make sure you're with the city before they let you order official signs like that. But yeah, I guess if you have like a very large private property, you might need signs.
It's not the sign company's job to do the city's job. Another comment, somehow the 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. was way more believable than the original one of 7 to 9:30 a.m. I think it just makes a lot more sense at a quick glance that the timing was just a nice round 2 hours versus 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it does make my brain happier.
Someone replied to that. It used to be 7:30 to 9:30, but someone 20 years ago didn't like it and bought a fake 7 to 9:30 sign.
It just keeps shortening the hours.
And before that, there probably wasn't even a sign. The city doesn't even know your street exists. My aunt moved into a new house in the corner across the street from a city park. She instantly had an issue with people parking on the street blocking her driveway. So my cousin bought a gallon of red paint and painted the curb one night. Instant fix. Bonus, within a year, the city took up maintaining the red curb.
Nice. They're just like, oh, we're going along fixing all the paint. This paint needs fixed. We'll fix this one too.
Yeah, they probably look at the paint and they're like, oh, this one's not on my chart. My chart must be wrong.
Because who would paint official city property?
OP replied, I love those kinds of stories. I read one once where a kid was working a job on a public dock and accidentally painted a pillar on the public pier the wrong color. Something like all the other ones were yellow, and he painted that one black. He never said anything, and people just kept repainting it the wrong color for decades after. Frankly, maybe someone from the neighborhood put the sign I changed up years before, as it was a bit of an oddity.
Okay, if you were a painter and the city told you to go to the docks and paint them, wouldn't you think that one black pillar was black for a reason? You're like, I don't know what it means, but it's black for a reason. I must repaint it black.
I probably would, because I'd be staring at that pillar. I'm like, all the other ones are yellow. There must be a good reason, right?
Yeah, I just, I don't work at the docks, so I'm not privy to the knowledge of why this one pillar needs to be black, but it's probably important. I better stick with it and paint it black.
If you don't paint this black, the dock is probably structurally unsound. I don't know.
But also, you're just a painter. Decisions like these are way above your pay grade. You probably don't even care. You just go in there and slap the same color paint on. It's so much easier than questioning things.
And then to finish this story out, let's discuss what he did with the evidence. Somebody commented, what did you do with the sign you removed? OP replied, I found a place that had no right turn from 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. and switched it in there. I kid. I grabbed a grinder and took the letters and numbers off the next day. Then I had it in my storage shed for a bit, as I was worried about tossing it in the garbage. Someone finding it might trigger people trying to figure out where it was missing from. I also did not want to toss it in a river or something like that. Eventually, I dropped it off on a road trip about 7 hours away. I left it by the side of the road at the base of a sign someone was using for target practice. I imagine it got all shot up. I kind of thought it was a fitting end. Yes, I got way too invested in this little plot.
I was thinking keeping the evidence in your shed is bad. First, you need to remove all the paint that says any numbers or anything, so they can't even tell what kind of sign it was. And then remove any, are there ID codes on the back? You need to grind that off. Then wipe the whole thing down with alcohol so you leave no DNA evidence, and wipe off your fingerprints, and then throw it in a dumpster somewhere far away.
I mean, once you grind off the surface, it's just a sheet of metal.
Someone might connect it back to you. You need to make sure you leave no evidence that you were connected to this in any way.
Just keep grinding it. It'll eventually turn into dust.
Actually, that would be better than throwing it in a dumpster somewhere far away. He should have just done that. Oh, he should have just cut it up into many, many pieces and throw one piece into a dumpster in different cities.
Right. And then when you connect all the dumpsters on a map, it spells out a note.
No, but you need to make sure your home is not in the center of that circle of dumpsters you threw it in. You gotta go far away.
Maybe OP is secretly hoping someone catches him. He's so racked with guilt. Somebody replied to OP, this was on your conscience. You kept it in your shed and ground the text off. This is the telltale heart level stuff. That's hilarious. Good on you. This post shows you would never make it as a professional hitman. OP replied, yes, amateur hour, I guess. I went to a lot of trouble getting the sign in a way to not connect it to me or the area I live in, but never really had a good plan to make the old sign disappear. Having said that, I really could not see the police getting a warrant to search my shed or anything like that.
You don't know. What if someone had gotten hit and hurt when someone turned red on that light when they weren't supposed to? So they're going to track you down and charge you with something.
Oh, sorry. I know I said the last one was going to close it out, but somebody asked, what's the reason for a rule like that anyway?
Okay.
OP replied, I assume they did not want commuters using it as a shortcut during rush hour. My issue was I actually work in that area, so it was a major pain to go around and backtrack. It saved me 15 minutes to just make the right turn.
Whoa, 15 minutes is a lot.
Right?
He really had to go around it.
Because if you're stuck in traffic or something when you're doing your lap around the block, yeah, I could see 15 minutes.
Wouldn't it be faster to just sit at the light and wait 2 minutes for it to turn green?
No, sorry, it's not on red, it's just no right turn.
Oh, no right turn at all?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that is a major inconvenience. I was thinking, I've never seen a no right turn at all between these hours.
I feel like I've seen them. I just, they kind of blend into the background when it's not that time frame, But still, good on OP. Sounds like they made their life more convenient and they at least didn't confess to any horrible accidents happening. Am I the asshole for calling the police on an elderly woman who blocked a parking spot and made me miss my doctor's appointment?
Dude, how long was she blocking that parking spot? At some point, you do gotta call the police.
I had a doctor's appointment over an hour away, and I'd been waiting more than a month for it. I arrived about 5 minutes before the appointment. Parking there is always crowded, but I can usually find something. This time, every spot was taken. Then, right in front of the doctor's office, the car ahead of me pulled out of a space. I immediately turned on my blinker and started parallel parking into it. I was already halfway in when an older woman suddenly stepped into the space and said I couldn't park there because she was saving it for someone else.
No, I am actively in the process of parking here, and you can't save it for someone else. I got to it first.
This is some kind of shakedown, right?
Right.
I told her I was there first, was already pulling in, and had a doctor's appointment in minutes. She refused to move. I told her what she was doing was illegal, but she said she didn't care and wouldn't move. I got angry and said if she kept blocking it, then nobody would use the spot. We stayed there for about 10 minutes. There were no other spaces nearby, and this was my only chance of making the appointment.
I don't think it was. You and this lady are in an eternal standoff. You're never making that appointment.
She started taking pictures of my license plate and saying things like, "We'll see who wins," and "You'll find out who you're dealing with." I started recording and called emergency services. The operator told me what she was doing was illegal and sent police.
Yeah, I do feel like this might not have been the time that I would make a stand like this. Like when I need to be at this appointment I've been waiting for a month, I might go find another parking spot and hope to make it in time. But the spiteful person inside of me wants to make this stand, and I totally can get behind doing it.
It's just that you really needed this doctor's appointment, so you kind of shooting yourself in the own foot here.
Yeah, I feel like you're just hurting yourself. But does this old woman deserve to have the cops called on her? 1,000%.
A few minutes later, when she got distracted looking for the car she was saving the space for, I quickly finished parking. She walked away, still threatening me. I called the doctor's office to explain I might be late because of the incident. But they said they couldn't hold the appointment. I was the last patient of the day, so the doctor left. I missed an appointment I'd waited over a month for. When police arrived, I showed them the video and explained everything. They confirmed she was in the wrong. We found her at a nearby restaurant, and her daughter came out and started insulting me for harassing an old woman. But when police confronted the older woman, she suddenly acted innocent. The police asked whether I wanted to pursue the matter further since I had suffered a financial loss by missing the appointment. After hearing that money is the problem, she offered to pay me for my loss. I said I didn't want money. I just wanted her to admit she was wrong and promised not to do this to anyone again. She agreed, and I let it go. Now I feel conflicted. She was elderly, and I did call the police over a parking spot. But she blocked me, threatened me, and caused me to miss an important medical appointment. Am I the asshole?
Not the asshole. Being elderly does not give people the right to be an asshole themselves. And this lady was definitely being an asshole. And calling the cops on her was a legitimate reaction. What she was doing was illegal. It's not like the police showed up and then were like, you guys, this is ridiculous. No, they were like, hey, do you want to press charges or whatever?
Yeah, because she blocked the space so long that you didn't make the appointment. Granted, I feel like you could have pulled out of the space and tried to find a different one and maybe made your appointment. But it is definitely her fault that you did not make your appointment. Maybe a little yours for only showing up 5 minutes early.
Yeah, my doctor's offices are always like, please show up 15 minutes early for your appointment.
Yeah, right?
They send me text message reminders and be like, please show up early. They don't want to wait on you.
No, they consider their time far more precious than yours. And to be fair, it might be. That's one of the few occupations where I'm like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't make them wait for you.
But also, I feel like she could have gone and found another parking spot, even if it was very far away, and then walked into the appointment and still made it with enough time to spare that. Like, she might have been a little late, but they would have let it slide.
Another thing to point out, she did not call her doctor to tell them she was going to be a little late until she had been in this standoff for 10 minutes, which means she was 5 minutes late already.
I feel like 5 minutes is an acceptable amount to be late almost. Like, I would expect them to hold my appointment for at least 5 minutes, possibly 10.
Yeah, but if I knew I was going to be late because I'm in some sort of weird standoff in your parking lot, I might have called at the beginning of the standoff and been like, hey,
I'm on my way. I'm very close. I just need to park and this lady won't move.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, I'm in your parking lot and this lady is like fighting me and preventing me from getting inside. Is she like a regular here? What's happening? Can you help? I might have made it a little bit the doctor's office's problem because it is their parking lot. And then it legitimizes your lateness.
Also, like, I don't know how big of a medical office it was, but some of the medium to large ones have security guards. Have the security guard come out and tell her to move.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Maybe they have somebody who could have helped you with this situation.
But not the asshole for, like, not thinking of these things in the moment, because you're in a standoff with an old lady and you're probably, like, all flustered and everything and like, oh my God, just let me park. So, like, I might not have thought of doing all these things too. In hindsight, you're like, oh yeah, I should have done that. I should have done that, you know?
Would you have pursued charges against this woman? I'm on the fence on that one.
I am too.
Because she did cause real financial harm to me by making me miss this doctor's appointment and then
possibly physical harm, because, like, you're not getting another appointment with this doctor for at least another month. So, like, this is affecting your health. What if this is something that is time sensitive and you can't get into the doctor and your health takes a plummet during that 1 month?
Yeah, and then when she got confronted, she's finally all apologetic. Like, when the police are standing there, the apology means a lot less.
Yeah, she was not sorry at all when you finally did get to park, and then she was still yelling at you for taking the parking spot.
And her daughter was too. So in theory, her daughter should have been there to keep her mom under control.
And they just wanted to go to a restaurant, and you were trying to get into a doctor's office.
Oh yeah, you think they were parking to get into the restaurant?
Well, they're there immediately after, so yeah.
You're right. That's not nearly as important.
So yeah, she's acting all contrite once the police are involved. I don't believe her at all. I don't think a sincere apology and a promise not to do anything like this again are legitimate.
Top comment, not the asshole for calling the police. However, arriving only 5 minutes early for an appointment is just poor planning.
Especially if it's an hour away. What if you had hit traffic?
That's true. Maybe she did hit traffic and that's why she was only 5 minutes early. We don't have more details on why there was only a 5-minute gap there.
Yeah, I mean, there could be reasons she's only 5 minutes early, so it's hard to call you an asshole for that. But without further information one way or the other, I'm kind of leaning towards this poor planning, and you might be a little bit the asshole.
Towards the doctor's office, and maybe yourself, but not at all towards this old lady.
Oh, yes, obviously.
And reading through the comments, there is not a lot of variety here. Everyone either says, not the asshole, the old lady was out of pocket, but you should have gotten there earlier than 5 minutes, or they're saying everyone sucks here. That old lady should not be guarding parking spots and you should have arrived earlier. It's very unilateral here.
So, long story short, have better planning and arrive earlier for your appointments. But it's not wrong to call the police on old ladies who are in the wrong and doing illegal things.
I think 99% of people are fully behind a petty standoff over a parking space when you're the one in the right.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, consider hitting that subscribe button.
We really appreciate your support, and it lets us know to keep making fun videos for you guys.
This next one's from Our Confession. I always steal a license plate when I visit a new foreign country.
No! That's so illegal. How are you not getting caught at the airport?
I love collecting foreign license plates, and just buying them online isn't satisfactory for me. It has to be on a car I actually drove. When I rent a car when visiting a new country, I always buy the no-deductible full coverage insurance. About an hour before going to the airport, I take the front plate off and put it in my bag.
This is so bad. You're like, they can link all of these back to you. They're on rental cars that you paid for in your name.
You think they just have a big, thick file with OP's name on the front?
Yeah, like Interpol has a big, thick file on this license plate stealer.
Top priority.
Number 1 most wanted criminal in Europe.
The people at rental inspection always ask me what happened to the front plate, and I just shrug and say, oh, I don't know, I didn't see it missing. Since I bought the insurance, they don't charge me anything. By the way, don't do this without the insurance.
Okay, yeah, I mean, at least he is being smart and paying for the insurance. So I'm like, it's kind of like, is the company taking a financial hit? Maybe, probably not. But it is still illegal and wrong. It is morally wrong.
The potential bill they could hand you at the end for multi-day loss of use, since the car isn't road legal without a front plate, new plate fee, admin labor fee to physically go get a new plate, it can easily be a 500 to 1,000 euro charge.
Okay, so maybe the car rental company is taking a financial hit.
I mean, they probably are, but it's hard to care.
Yeah, I guess so.
At least if they're big car rental companies, right?
Yeah, if it's a little mom and pop car rental company, I would feel really bad. But like the big super chain ones, I might not feel as bad about it. But it's still wrong.
I now have a collection of cool plates on my wall from every country I've visited. My end goal will be to successfully buy a North Korea plate one day, but I'm not going to risk the gulag camp for that.
Yeah, don't do anything illegal in North Korea, even stealing a license plate.
I do feel bad about it when I do it, since I'm wasting someone's time at the rental desk.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is not great behavior, and it is illegal, but if it's a big car rental company, I mean, I kind of don't mind getting one over on them. And the person that you're inconveniencing who has to go get a new license plate for this car, well, they're getting paid to do that. So are you really harming them? I mean, you're maybe slightly annoying them. So in the long run, is this really hurting anyone that we care about? No.
And I have to assume that 500 to 1,000 euro charge is very inflated.
Upcharged. Yeah, it's very inflated, probably.
Yeah. The top comment is in reference to OP's username, license plate lover 69. I'm upset that I saw your username, clicked on your profile, and there were no cool pictures of foreign license plates.
Yeah, if you're going to do the crime, show us evidence of it online.
OP is smarter than that. They replied, I thought about posting them, but I don't want an Interpol case one day, since they can probably tie these together based off registration information. Low chance, but not zero.
See, I told you, Interpol is onto him and has a case against him.
And then the rest of the comment thread is just a cascade of, someone who works at Interpol, let OP know you have bigger fish to fry. Interpol agent here, we don't have bigger fish to fry. We're coming after you, OP. Bigger fish here. This guy's telling the truth. I've already been fried. Be careful.
Reddit does love some puns.
I work at a rental car company, and honestly, fuck it. We have billions of dollars to fix these cars, so take the fucking plate and enjoy it. Which is a lot of the comments on this one, because people just do not care if you're screwing over a car rental company.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to care about a multi-million or multi-billion-dollar car company.
Somebody else replied, at first I got annoyed thinking you stole from random strangers' parked cars, but this is fine. Somebody does have a more cautionary comment. I don't know what countries you visit, but I personally would be very concerned about getting caught in a foreign country stealing anything. I've traveled a lot in my life, and it has always been my belief that it's a good idea to absolutely avoid any behavior that might get me into trouble, especially in countries where I don't speak the native language. Call me a chicken, but it's worked for me so far.
I mean, okay, yeah, that does seem like the smart way to go. Don't do anything illegal in foreign countries. You don't know all the laws. You don't know all the legal precedents and ins and outs of the law system and how to work it. I mean, it seems a little risky.
OP replied, the sketchier countries where I've done this are also the ones most likely to accept a bribe and the feigned ignorance of a stupid tourist buying plates from a bazaar. The developed countries feel more risky when stealing the plate.
I guess that is true.
Somebody else asks, how many plates do you have?
Oh yeah, that is a good question.
A little over 30. I travel often for business and pleasure, and make a point to get a different car if crossing a border. Most plates I had in my bag at once was 3.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. They've been to a lot of countries. If they go to the same country twice, do they get another license plate, do you think?
I have to assume no, because they just said they wanted one from every country, right?
Yeah.
Somebody else wants to know, has TSA or Customs ever taken one from you?
That's what I said at the beginning. Like, how are you getting through security and TSA without them flagging like, hey, you got something weird in your baggage?
OP replied, nope. I throw it in the checked bag. Customs has never noticed it when leaving, and Customs doesn't notice or give a shit when arriving. As far as they're aware, I could have just bought an old license plate for $5 at a garage sale. It doesn't quite seem like something that Customs has enough time to care about.
Yeah, I guess Customs also has bigger fish to fry.
Our next crime is also from our confession. I stole over $20,000 in a very creative way in the 90s.
Whoa, that's a felony. Okay, let's hear how creative this is.
I worked at a fast food chain in the 90s when I was in high school. When I worked there, they were in the process of phasing out denominational gift certificates. $5, $10, and $25. The way it worked was if you spent more than half the certificate, they gave you the cash back. So if you ordered $5.50 worth of food and gave them one of the $10 gift cards, they gave you the $4.50 back in cash.
Okay.
My manager was in charge of destroying all the existing certificates as we transitioned to more traditional credit card looking gift cards.
Oh, so these were just like old like paper certificates, kind of like coupons, but so not digital or like a credit card at all?
Yeah, back when the gift certificates were like just pieces of paper with a serial number printed on them.
All right, I guess he did say this was in the 90s.
So, my manager said he shredded the certificates like he was supposed to. But one night, when I was closing, I found 2 boxes of the gift cards tucked deep into the dry storage room. They were filled with the certificates that were supposed to be shredded. So, I scooped them up, brought them out to the dumpster in trash bags, and threw them away. After we closed, I came back and recovered them and brought the certificates home. I counted them. There were $1,025, $1,010, and $505 certificates.
What does that all add up to? 20,000?
None of them had expiration dates. Total haul was $40K in fast food certificates.
That's a lot of fast food.
My manager never said a word. He couldn't. He had reported them destroyed weeks earlier.
Are you sure these are the ones he said he destroyed, or is this just 2 boxes that he forgot he had and he did destroy a bunch of them, but these are just ones that got tucked away and forgotten about? Does he even know you took them?
My assumption was that the manager was going to sneak off with them.
Ooh, yeah, and then someone beat him to the punch, but now he can't say anything about it.
Over the next 3 years, my girlfriend and I toured every location in our state, and the next 4 states ordering food and getting the change. We never kept track on a spreadsheet or anything, but we got good at knowing what menu items were just about half. After the first year, we started saving the change in a shoebox and let it build up. I bought my first car for $7,800 cash from the change. And for some reason, a kitty cone was $1.05. If you gave them a $5 certificate, they gave you back $3.95 in change. We threw away a lot of kitty cones.
Yeah, can you imagine you're doing this scam to get the money and you're eating all the food that you order? You'd be so fat. But also, I don't know if I could throw away ice cream.
Yeah, but if it's like your 20th ice cream cone of the day as you drive around pulling this con,
it would still make me very sad.
And then OP does have an edit to answer frequently asked questions. 1, we could hit 10 to 12 stores in a day if we drove around for 5 to 6 hours. Both of us would use a gift certificate. It was not that labor intensive. 2, the only cameras in the store were at the cash register and takeout window. 3, the manager has no clue who took them, or at least never treated me differently. 4, each gift certificate had a generic PLU on them, i.e. all the $25 ones were PLU number 756.
Oh, okay, so there's no way to actually track them.
Yeah, apparently they didn't even have unique serial numbers.
No, okay, yeah, that seems like a scam waiting to happen.
Which is why they were phasing them out, I suppose.
Yeah, probably.
5, when we stopped selling the certificates, we were told to keep honoring them because they were prepaid. They were not coupons. 6, one can only eat so many ice cream cones.
You see, other people were upset about the ice cream cones too. Ice cream is precious and delicious.
I guess I'd rather you wasted an ice cream cone than a hamburger, if I had to weigh the options.
No.
Although also you shouldn't do crime. Have we mentioned don't do crime in this episode yet? Because don't do crime, we do not endorse any of these activities. Top comment. The biggest confession is throwing away the free kitty cones.
Yeah, that is the most distressing part of this story. I do not care that you are ripping off a chain fast food restaurant for $40,000, but the ice cream wastage, it's criminal.
Another comment. I worked at a stupidly named chain music store in the mall back in the early 2000s, and my manager got busted doing this very same thing after she got promoted to district manager. We were phasing out our gift coins in favor of gift cards at that point, and she ganked a bunch of the coins. Her flaw? She only ran this scam on stores within the district she managed, where the staff knew her and got a little suspicious.
No, you gotta go far away if you're pulling a scam like this, where nobody knows you.
That's what OP did. They drove across the state, they said.
Okay, and back to OP's story. They did say that they drove around and would hit like 10 stores in a day and it wasn't that labor intensive. I feel like that's a little labor intensive and you're spending a lot of gas money.
It's 90s gas. That stuff is practically free.
Oh, that's true.
Gas didn't spike in price until like the year I was able to drive.
Yeah, I can just vaguely remember when gas was under $1.
Yeah, it went over $1, I think, the same year I turned 16.
I wasn't driving before then, so I didn't pay attention to gas prices, so it's just a vague memory.
But stuff like this is why all those chain restaurants don't do like punch cards anymore, or things that they can't track digitally.
Yeah, you hear about somebody getting like the Subway puncher and a bunch of punch cards and just getting free Subway sandwiches for life.
So I like this comment. I call bullshit. No way the ice cream machine was actually working that often.
That is a very good point. It is never working.
And I guess OP inspired other people to share their stories. Because other people are sharing their fast food scams from back before things were tracked digitally.
Okay.
My fast food scam was coupons. Worked at a pizza place as a delivery driver, and they were very relaxed about the coupons. So when a customer gave me a buy one, get one free large coupon, I'd hang on to it until I got an order for 2 large pizzas without a coupon. When I got back, I'd hand the receipt and coupon to my manager and tell them they gave it to me when I got there, so I only charged them for 1 pizza. They would adjust the bill and I'd pocket $15. 5 or 6 of those a night, working 5 nights a week for 3 years, $58K.
Whoa, that is, some of these scams are lucrative. But you think the manager would have caught on to that a little sooner.
I mean, I guess you can get away with a lot if your manager doesn't care either, right? And once again with this one, most of Reddit isn't too stressed about you pulling one over on a large fast food chain. Although there are a few comments that are along the lines of, it's a theft of opportunity and pulled off creatively. Still theft, though.
I just don't know if I could pull off this kind of scam because I would feel so guilty for the rest of my life.
Am I the asshole for filing a police report on a good friend who was caught on video stealing my boyfriend's camera at a dinner? She has refused to help me either replace it in full or contribute to the cost of replacing it.
I don't think that's your good friend. Friends don't steal from you and not expensive things. Like, yeah, I might steal your cookie. I'm not stealing your expensive camera.
I might steal your donut.
Don't steal my donut! No! How could anyone do that to someone that's so mean? I mean, I would totally do that to someone else, but how could they do that to me?
We were out to dinner one night at an expensive hotel. My boyfriend let me borrow his Canon G7X camera to bring to take pictures with my friends. At the conclusion of the dinner, I went up to my room and realized the camera was gone. I went right back down to the table and no one had seen it. I immediately got with hotel security, and she is on video, clear as day, swiping the camera when my back was turned and shoving it into her purse.
Ooh, she's not even sneaky. Got caught on camera.
I covered for her initially and contacted her to find a resolution. She had taken the camera with her and my other friends to a club after dinner, which I did not attend, and she had lost it there. For background, this is my good college friend who I know well. She has been taken on free trips to Coachella and St. Bart's on my dime, not kidding, as well as many other things. We have done a lot together and are good friends, so I expected her to feel sorry. Initially she lied, saying she did not have it. When I told her we had video, she confessed, then said yes, she took it, but lost it at the next bar she went to with my other friends.
Did she really lose it, though, or did she take it to a pawn shop and sell it?
It is now gone. I asked her to help me replace it by going in on me with the cost. She has refused all measures or resolutions, and now I feel I have nothing left to do but file a police report and let them handle it. It is impacting my relationship, and I'm furious my friend is not helping at all. Why should I be on the hook for something she stole? I have given her 3 weeks to help me resolve this, but she insists she is going to do nothing. I am being pressed by my boyfriend to either replace the camera or help him file a report with her info and the footage. I even asked her to just throw in half or less than half the cost to help, but she still refuses. I do not want her to get in trouble, but I am at the point where I feel she really does not care.
Yeah, I'm not even sure this person is friends with you. You're friends with them, but I don't think they're friends with you, and they are just using you for your money and like all the cool places you can take them and the cool stuff they can get off of you. You've given her ample opportunity to make reparations, and she's just outright refusing. At this point, yeah, file a police report and don't feel guilty about it. Although maybe if you want to save the friendship, which I'm not sure why you would, but if you want to, give her a warning and be like, hey, I am going to file a police report if you do not pay me this amount of money by this date. Even then, she might not want to be friends with you, but if you file a police report with no warning, you're absolutely ending that friendship, which may not be a bad thing.
I mean, I feel like stealing a camera from somebody is ending a friendship.
Yes, but it feels like OP is kind of used to being taken advantage of and is more forgiving and less willing to hold grudges than it seems like her friend probably would be.
Top comment. You're the asshole. Is there a reason you are choosing your thieving friend over your boyfriend? She's made it clear she's not your friend, and that she's not going to make this right. The police report should have been filed the moment she said she wasn't going to pay for it. If I were your boyfriend, I would be reconsidering the relationship with you over this. You're really dragging your feet to make this right. Get the report made and replace his camera.
Yes, that is true. Even if I didn't want to file charges on my friend and my friend wasn't willing to pay, I don't think I would make my boyfriend eat the cost. I would have immediately paid my boyfriend back for the camera and then be nagging my friend to pay me back for what I paid back to my boyfriend. Because I don't want to make my friends my boyfriend's problem.
Somebody replied to that. You sincerely believe you're being the nice person to her in general. You are mistaken. You're the asshole. She clearly feels entitled to steal from her friends, even the friends who have been super generous with her. How do you think she feels with people who are less close friends or coworkers? You've enabled her to steal from others. I guarantee you that she has. And that is partly on you if you do not file this police report. When some other less fortunate person is unable to pay their rent, and she's merely skated through proven incidents of theft, you could be part of the cause of making that random stranger homeless. You have clearly not thought this through. File the police report. Sue her for the full amount. Do not spend another penny on her, ever. People who imagine themselves to be people pleasers, doing more harm than good, shaking my head. So, I want to make it clear, Reddit has decided that OP is the asshole here.
But for not pressing charges earlier?
For not pressing charges, and they are not being friendly about their verdict.
I don't know. I feel like that's a little harsh. Like that comment saying, hey, if she steals from someone in the future and they become homeless because of it, it's your fault. No, it's not your fault. It is your friend's fault because they're the one who stole the money. It's absolutely not your fault. It's their fault. However, it is about time that your friend faces some real consequences. File that police report.
Yeah, and this is one of those ones where I'm really surprised everyone's saying you're the asshole and not everyone sucks here. I mean, I guess boyfriend doesn't suck, but friend clearly sucks.
I think it's just that friend who is stealing things so clearly sucks that they are obviously the asshole. We're not including them in this verdict because that is already decided.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. That incident happened before the question. It's not even on the table right now.
Not up for debate. Now, is OP the asshole for filing charges?
Or for not filing charges.
Yeah, not the asshole for filing charges. You are the asshole for not filing them sooner.
You're the asshole. Not even sure why you are asking. I've rarely seen a post with more asshole-ish behavior on here. You are an asshole to your boyfriend. Kind guy trusted you with something valuable, and you are not even giving him all the information you have after it got swiped. You brought your asshole friend to this dinner. You are an asshole for not filing a report. You are an asshole to yourself for not holding this fucking friend accountable. What the hell do you mean throwing in half? Get your head out of your ass and go file a report. Make sure your boyfriend is made whole. Be utterly embarrassed with your own behavior here and do better next time. Like I said, they're not holding back.
Yeah, I think they're way too nice, like offering to pay for half if the friend will just pay for half. That's like, no, your friend purposefully took it when your back was turned. You know, this wasn't like a mistake, like, oh, I thought I could borrow it and oops, I lost it. Even then, they should fully replace it. No, this was kind of malicious. I'm taking it sneakily, and then they lost it. And I'm not even sure they lost it. I think they sold it.
Yeah, and then when her friend said she wouldn't pay for half, OP offered for her to just chip in whatever.
Whatever you can or are willing to chip in, which turns out is nothing.
Not the asshole, but you are an asshole to your boyfriend. You have dragged your feet long enough. You borrowed the camera. Give him the money to buy a new one now. Then you can decide how to handle the situation between yourself and your friend.
Yeah, that's what I would have done. I would have immediately made sure things were right with my boyfriend, and then me and my friend can work it out later.
All right, and then there are 5 short updates.
Oh, 5. Wow, okay.
Update. I sent her a text this AM telling her if I do not receive full cost of the camera or shipping confirmation of a new camera from an approved vendor to a provided address by end of day Friday, we will be filing a report with the police Saturday AM. I felt like an asshole typing this out to her, but I have to do it.
Good. This is what I was saying she should have done. Like, she should give her friend warning, hey, I'm filing a police report if you don't pay for everything. But she should have done this right at the beginning of this whole incident. But better late than never, I guess?
Yeah, it can be hard to take the steps you need to take when a friend betrays you to this level. I'm not quite as mad at OP as the whole comment section is.
Oh, no, I'm not either. But this was something she needed to do.
Yeah, and it does kind of sound like Reddit gave her a little bit of a wake-up slap, and she is moving in the right direction now.
Yeah, so what's the second update?
Update 2. She told me she is sick of me, and that I will be receiving a tracking number by 12 Eastern on Friday, and not to blame her if the package is never received.
What the heck does that mean?
I told her if she was my real friend, she would be sorry, and in no way will I allow this to be flipped on me. Should I ask if the camera is new, or the one that disappeared?
Ooh, that is a good point. See, I was saying I think she sold it. Is she going to somehow try and get it back, or has she not actually sold it yet? Also, I'm not sure if I would accept a camera that was ordered. I might be like, no, I just need the cold hard cash.
Update 3. She sent me a tracking number via FedEx. It says it is awaiting package. I have asked her repeatedly if she is sending me the original camera, assuming it magically turned up, or is it a new one? She refuses to answer and only tells me to stop bothering her.
Well, of course she's saying that because she knows the answer is going to make her look bad. She had your camera all along.
Update 4. I am more and more convinced my friend took the camera hoping that I would just replace it for my boyfriend, gifting her a free camera. For background, this friend is heavily involved on Instagram and loves taking pictures. The Canon G7 is coveted by women because it is known as the Instagram camera. Even if you wanted to buy one at full price, they're out of stock everywhere. Let's hope it gets returned with this tracking. FedEx still says awaiting package even though shipping info was sent to them at 7 p.m. yesterday.
Okay, so it hasn't been shipped yet. I'm skeptical. She just made up a, hey, I'm going to ship this slip.
Final update. Original camera returned via FedEx the other day. Has been given back to my boyfriend. However, the camera thief blocked me on all socials after this. Apparently, she was trying to keep the camera for herself and expected me to just buy a new one for my boyfriend.
Wow. Okay, yeah, that's not your friend, and I think it's okay that she blocked you. You don't need that kind of person in your life. What else is she going to take from you in the future?
Yeah, and I would say friend kind of got off light because this was a camera that's easily over $1,000.
It could have been a felony.
And you let her return it. I hope the camera is in as good of condition as when, she took it.
Yeah, I hope she didn't maliciously do anything. I might feel like I need to disinfect that camera. What if she did something mean just to get revenge?
Or just disinfect it to get all of those stinky ex-friend germs off.
Well, I'm glad you grew a spine and got your camera back. And I'm sorry that your friend turned out to be a big asshole that you couldn't trust.
I mean, OP got there in the end, and that's what's important, right?
Yeah, but hopefully next time, if there is a next time situation like this, she gets there a little faster. Hope she learned a little bit of a lesson.
Our final crime is from R. True Off My Chest. I've been ensuring that my neighbor gets at least one parking ticket a week for the last 6 months.
It's petty and I like it. What did they do to deserve it?
I live on a quiet road with an insane amount of street parking on both sides. The road is about a half-mile long, and all but 3 houses have driveway. My house is one of those without a driveway, so I park on the street. I have a neighbor who is about my age, mid-20s, that for some reason thinks the spot directly in front of my house is her designated parking spot. I never mind if someone parks there while I'm out, because there is literally a half-mile worth of parking on both sides of the street.
Wait, OP doesn't mind if someone parks there while he's out? Does he think that this is his personal parking spot? That's not how street parking works.
No, sorry, OP is saying they don't mind if someone takes the spot because there's other parking OP can use. That's just the game of parking on the street.
Okay.
But I think OP is much happier when they can get the spot in front of their house.
Yeah, but it's not theirs. It's first come, first serve.
Correct.
Okay, just making sure he knows that. Just making sure we all know that.
About a year ago, this neighbor moves in and took claim to the spot which is directly across the street from her driveway. Within the first week, I received a note on my windshield asking me in the most condescending tone to please move from my designated spot.
No, it's not your designated spot.
I didn't really care. There's so many spots, and I was just mildly annoyed with the entitlement. It kept happening. To everyone. My guests, other people's guests, anyone that parks in that spot gets a passive-aggressive note the second she returns home and finds that someone has completely legally parked on a public road.
Has anyone tried talking to this neighbor and letting her know that she is not legally entitled to that spot?
I don't think OP ever mentions whether or not they talked to the neighbor, but it's Reddit, so I'm assuming there was no actual in-person discussion.
I mean, because maybe she's just an alien and doesn't know how street parking works. Maybe she thinks that is her spot, and you gotta let her know that is not how this works on Earth.
I mean, if her logic is I can just claim something, I feel like OP's only response is to challenge her to combat.
I'm sorry, you thought this was your designated spot? No, this is my designated spot.
No, this spot goes to whoever is strongest. Now draw your blade.
The petty person in me would make a point to park there every chance I got, but the cautious person in me would worry that they're going to do something worse than leave a petty note on my car. Are they going to do something bad to my car?
I started getting really annoyed about 6 months ago and decided to just let her win. I did, however, notice that she has a really bad habit of parking really far from the curb or facing the wrong direction. So I just started ringing the parking enforcement every time I noticed her parked illegally. My town has the most bored parking enforcement ever that really loves ticketing people for any reason.
They're like, yes, you have someone for us to ticket for a petty reason. We will be out there immediately.
I don't think you pursue a career in parking enforcement unless you are prepared for ticketing people for petty reasons.
I kind of feel like I would enjoy that job, except I'm scared of getting into fights with people.
Oh, that's half the job. Even better, since our parking enforcement is notoriously annoying, she has no idea that someone is calling her in. She's made a few posts on the Nextdoor app asking why the parking people feel the need to constantly harass her.
'Cause she parks bad. In the wrong direction and far from the curb.
Yeah, even if she did successfully make that her parking space, it's not that hard to figure out, oh, I just need to park facing the other direction.
Yeah, if she wants them to stop harassing her, start parking correctly. It's a super simple solution that does not involve anyone except herself.
One of the top comments, my guy and or girl, call every time and take a picture and put it in an album to remember when you're feeling down. Also put the Nextdoor app complaints in the album as well. It will perk you right up. Stay golden, pony boy.
That is a level of petty that is way beyond something I ever thought of.
I love the idea of a little petty victory book to cheer me up in the future.
At some point, you gotta make a petty victory book for the neighbor and leave it on their porch.
Ooh, a confession just to completely destroy her?
No, not even a confession. Just take a picture of her car every time it's parked horribly and has a ticket on it. And then all the complaints she's making on the Nextdoor app, it doesn't have to do anything with you. It can be completely anonymous and just leave it on her porch.
I just want to know how much disposable income this woman has. Because, for me at least, money is a great way to motivate me to correct my behavior.
Oh, 100%. I get one parking ticket. I'm making sure I never make that same parking mistake.
Right? Parking tickets are expensive. I don't have $100.
And it's such a waste of money. Like, that's so much money, and it's so easy to not get one.
Because I accidentally let my license plate tabs expire that one time, and I got like a $100 ticket because I was parked on the street. And I got my license plate tabs renewed very quickly.
Do you think the neighbor is just not paying the parking tickets?
That's a possibility, but with how frequently parking enforcement is out there, you'd think there'd be a boot on her car by now.
I just want to know the total number of tickets received so far and the total amount of money that this adds up to.
Another comment. Every time she parks there, leave a note on her car telling her to move from your designated spot, but have a different person write it every time so it is in different handwriting.
Ooh, I do like that.
Somebody replied, that or save her notes and put them back on her own car when she parks there.
Ooh, I like that even better.
And then there's a reply to this comment thread by somebody who is obviously new to Reddit. I would just go to her house and tell her to fucking stop, or you'll keep calling parking enforcement. People like her like to hide behind notes, but confront her face to face. That should be enough to stop her ridiculous games.
One, that is not what we do here on Reddit. And two, don't tell her you'll keep calling parking enforcement. Don't admit that it's you that's doing it. 3, they need to be like the other commenters and give us ways to out-petty the petty that someone else is inflicting upon us. That is what Reddit is for.
Like I said, I think they're new here. We have street parking, and if I happen to get the spot in front of my house, I run on that high until the next time I go somewhere. The first note on my car, I would have gone scorched earth.
Yeah, we have street parking too, and we usually get the spot directly in front of our house, but if I have to park even 2 houses down, I'm annoyed. Sometimes I have to park like 5 houses down, and that makes me mad.
Yeah, how dare other people park near their own houses?
How dare they? But do I leave notes for anybody? No, I just move on with my day. It makes me a little grumpy for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, because our parking is only on one side of the street, so if we get too far down the street, we have to do like a U-turn and then do another U-turn and take another pass. And it's just really mildly inconvenient.
But I don't blame them for calling parking enforcement on this neighbor. Is it petty? Yes, but they started the petty war.
Yeah, they started it, and OP is in the process of finishing it.
That's our last story for this episode of Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet.
Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.